Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Grim and Stone Real Well, and to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, preaching the gospel from Mashiach Yahushai in truth and sincerity. Shalom, shalom, shalom. In these last days and times, alright. So you see the title of the so-called news clippings from ABC News. This was a couple of days ago. So it says extremists likely to target healthcare sector as vaccine mandates spread. All right. So this is the agenda of the elites for total control. All right. They're gonna use every avenue of power they could have access to push a narrative about people gonna cause damage and disturb the peace because of these so-called jab mandates. Yeah, so it's gonna be chaotic, man. And you know how Esau is, man. He has to create the narrative. He has to create an environment to foster a reaction, and then from there he comes in with his so-called recommendation. So that's exactly what he wants. All right, using these mandates as an excuse, you know, to increase his authority over the people. All right, because once people start attacking these so-called facilities, you know, due to the false flag agenda, you could imagine what the news media will be doing. All right. So that's why it's very, very important to pay attention to what the enemy is doing, all right? Because the so-called news media are not a force for righteousness; they're a force for evil, all right? So you could imagine if a hospital has its network taken down, they start blaming cyber attack, start blaming all these so-called hackers for infiltrating the network and stealing patient information, and then all of a sudden the hospital system is subjected to ransomware and all that stuff. So it's all crazy, man. It's all crazy. Crazy scenario. And when you see the protests of people flipping over tents for these jab vans, they're gonna run with that. Any little thing that can be helpful to the agenda of these elites to increase their power, they're willing to do it. That's why it's very, very important, brother, stay on point and be circumspect, man. All right. So they're just gonna brainstorm of every single way that hospital system could be attacked. You see people protesting in front of hospitals, and then the cameraman and the news reporter and the news anchor and the news station, they go along with the line, to push that the protests are preventing these so-called frontline workers from doing their jobs, from caring for the sick, and then they start dividing the people, start saying, well, the healthcare worker got attacked, the healthcare worker got the tire slashed, things like that. They say, oh, well, these protesters blocked the ambulance from reaching the ambulance bay at the hospital. They prevented a helicopter from landing because they are pointing laser flashlights at the helicopter pilot's eyes. Shit like that, man. So it's all chaotic, man. It's all chaotic. And then you start hearing that, oh, well, protesters went to this doctor's home to protest, to vandalize his property. And that's the narrative they're going to keep on pushing. That's how we tell brothers. You got to be wise among the people of this world, man, that don't have an inkling of what's really going on. And you also got to be aware of these agent provocateurs, man. Always looking to entrap people. So, You just got to be prudent. Stay prayed up. Be spiritual, because hey, the devil's looking for souls to snatch. So you don't want to partake in that drama. All right, your job is to preach the gospel, stand your ground, and that's about it. You know, whenever they're speaking their lies, you speak your truth. Okay, it's not a punching match. Okay, so the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 12, it says, "If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked." And that's what you have, man. Esau's rulership is nothing but wickedness. From one agency head to another, it's all the same old drama. They're towing the same agenda, to mislead the people down the path of destruction, and to increase the power of the elites. All right. So you could imagine, man, how much evil and darkness and deceit and coercion that people have to deal with. What people are being subjected to on a daily basis. The so-called online fact checkers can't catch up anymore because they don't have the juice. They've lost. Woefully. All right, and now they gotta call in the goon squad with the battering rams, with the guns and bombs and helicopters and everything, to scare the people and put them back in line. And it's gonna get ugly, all right, because this mandate, man, it's not gonna go, the way the elites, have it. They want to be, you know, because the Lord is gonna create that line of division, man. And hey, the time of Jacob's trouble, that's a good marker. That's a good reference point to keep in mind. All right, because when a man of the Lord decide not to go along with this agenda to get the jab, there's nothing the elites can do but to come out to us physically. All right, so that's when the Lord Mashiach Yahushai will give the green light, all right, to his angels to protect us. All right, so there is no shame, man, in speaking the truth. There is no shame in losing your job for standing up for what is right, for what is righteous. All right. So when you read the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1, it tells you clearly. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity." So all these folks pushing these mandates, they got nothing but disaster coming to their doorstep. All right. So Esau's gonna come along with his false flag, and the Lord is gonna push the real deal, man. You're gonna have people out there mourning the loss of their family members, their friends, and every uh, genuine, reason for them to protest. They're gonna come against the peons of the elites that are pushing these mandates. All right, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." All right, and that's what they do. They put out this agenda, to show that they have power over the people. They speak proudly, concerning oppression, and then they start screaming and yelling to the DOJ, to the FBI, to the White House, you know, to these law enforcement agencies to protect the narrative. Because when the narrative is falling apart, now they gotta call in those tech companies to do more censoring. You know, they eavesdrop. They use the terms that people are using, and then they get caught slipping. All right. So that's how desperate these elites are, man, to have power over the people. All right. And they put their lies in these newspapers, man. They broadcast it over the radio, over the TV. All right. Even the newspapers too, billboards, you name it. and they push so hard that when they know that they're getting defeated, they just get more frustrated. All right. And then verse 2 says, and they covered fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress the man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. So when people have a valid reason not to go with the agenda, they don't care because they're looking at the end goal. They want that birthright back. These so-called elite Edomites, these so-called Zionists, they want the birthright back, man. They know that the children of Esau, and they have to come against the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans throughout the four corners of the earth. They have to use the governments of these countries to force these mandates, man. They're trying to upset prophecy. They're trying to defeat the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. So that's the big picture, and the Lord has already reserved, His elect. He's already reserved, His anointed servants throughout the four corners of the earth that will not go along, not bow a knee to this image of the beast. All right. So another precept to look into will be from the book of Proverbs. All right. Proverbs chapter 16. And you go to verse 29. It says, a violent man enticeth his neighbor. And what do they do? You gotta get a burger. You gotta get this Happy Meal. Okay, once you take the jab, you're gonna get some Krispy Kreme donuts. Once you get a jab, you gotta get some latte from Starbucks. If you get the jab, you're gonna be entered into your local state lottery, Powerball. To win to win some cash prize. If you take the jab, you qualify for scholarship. If you take the jab, you know. So Proverbs 16 and 29 says, a violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. Right? So all these so-called enticements, aka incentives, it's all a sham, man. And the Lord is not going to allow them to succeed. That's why He's giving them a hard time. And these regular Edomites, they're digging up the facts. They're putting their school board members on notice. They're putting the governors on notice. They're calling out the sheriff and police chiefs. They're calling out the health officials and all that. And hey, when the truth begins to come out, there's nothing they can do but retreat and start pushing for more censorship online and filing frivolous lawsuits. All right. So one more precept just to wrap this up, man. Because the more you speak about this, it's just a headache, man. That's why you gotta let the Lord take care of it for you, because He's the one that has the perfect answer, the perfect response, and the perfect results. All right. So the book of Psalms, chapter 140, verse 4, it says, keep me, O Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Kakadash, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. And that summarizes this lesson. And you gotta pray for protection from the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, so He'll keep you away from this violent administration of the elites, man. The violent administration of Esau. You know, upon the face of the earth. All right, so it's terrible. When you see news reports like this, they're always up to something. They're always scheming. They're always scheming. They're never about the truth, and the whole agenda is crumbling apart now. So what are they gonna do? violence. All right, that's all they got. That's all they got left. Violence, violence, violence. So don't be surprised, man, when they come around with another false flag attack. You know, and losing a job is not. It's not really much. You know, uh, to endure. But when that violence come in, oh my God, that's a whole different entity. You know, a whole different agenda to deal with. So that's what we're praying for, man. Praying that the Lord keep us from this violent man. Because he's desperate, man. He's desperate for victory. He's desperate to get his birthright back, man. That's why you gotta pray the Lord Hamashak deliver us from these Edomites, man. They're just desperate, man. They're desperate to overturn the decrees of the Lord. And you know definitely well it's not going to happen. So that's upon the Akim, stay circumspect and hey, be spiritual. Shalom.